Hi, this is Margaret from Margaret's Crafts. I wanted to share with you my March cross stitching that I've done. I have no finished items, but I wanted to share with you my whips and some of the goodies that I found over the month, and hopefully to make up for when my computer messed up last month and I didn't have any. I didn't get to finish it off, so I hope to. If I can remember what I had put on that last one, to add it to this one. So to start off with, I wanted to show you my nativity. If you see me looking over the side, that's where I have my little notes at. The nativity one is done on a 16 count Aida. And it's a picture that I picked up and I put it on picture to pattern. And this is what it, if I have a picture, I'm going to show you what it looks like beforehand. And here's what here's the picture that I have done so far. I have Mary's head in with her little, her robe that she has on. And I have the background more coming in. I don't remember how much of Joseph I had done. And the only thing I changed about this pattern from Pick to Pat is that I used B5200 for the star, but then I added a white blending filament in with it to make it sparkle. And that's what I have done so far. My next item I have is April Blue Diamond. And here's the completed picture, what it's to look like. Here's where I was before. And here's where I am now. Now, a lot of the spaces up here in her headdress and down into her dress and stuff is beads and little charms. So they're not going on until very last. But I've been working on her, and I work on her dress is like all white. So I work on a little bit of her dress, and then I'll go and work on like I've worked on this side of the wing. I got this wing done over here, and I was starting into the little accent on the edge of her wing there. And I got she has like a sash going behind her. And this is called April's Blue Diamond. It's a Mirabilia pattern. I'm using a 16 count Aida that I hand dyed myself to look like a sky. And I'm changing this pattern up a little bit. The more I look at it, the more I really didn't like the bottom part. I don't know, for some reason to me, it looks like the tail of a lobster. And I just didn't like that. So I'm going to cut that part out and just have her dress come straight down. My next item that I have is the Bluebirds. This is I Love You Always. It's a Bucilla kit, and it came with 14 count Aida. And it says, love you yesterday, love you still, always have, always will. And this is a picture of where I was before. And here's the picture of where I am now. The words aren't coming out. The words are all in. I don't know why they're not showing up right there. The words are all in. The whole bottom part is done. The birds are done, except a little bit over here in the branch that they're sitting on. And I've started up into getting the background of the birds worked on. And my next item that I have for you is called Magnificent Wizard. It's the Dimensions kit, and I put it on 14 count black Aida. I think it was supposed to be on 16 count, but I lost the black Aida, and I didn't know which one it was supposed to be on. And with me starting back into cross stitching and working on the black Aida, it was just too hard to see. So I did it on 14 count. And here's where I was before. And here's where I am now. Almost all of the dragon is in, except for I'm starting on his wing. You can't see it right now because it's in black. His other wing is coming up, and it's starting off into all black. I have the wizard started. I had him started before, but now I'm down into his robe is being done now. All of this down here. And some more of the dragon and the castle over here in the background. The castle over here is being done. So that's what I have done so far. It's the sky, the dragon, the Powerball or whatever that is, the orb, and the wizard in his robe is blowing back behind him over here. And the last item that I was working on, I don't know if I told you before. In case you're new, I work on my projects in a 1 week routine, 1 week rotation. So I'll do all the items that, I'll work on that same item Monday through Friday. And then I'll put it away, and the next week I'll take the next one that's on the rotation. And then that's in the evening after I come home from work, I do that. And on Saturday and Sunday in the evening, I work on my nativity one. That's just for Saturday and Sunday. So I have a five pattern or 5 object rotation that I do. And the last one that's on my list is called Northern Lights. And it's a Jan Lynn pattern, and I did this also on a 14 count black Aida. And this wasn't a kit, this was just the pattern I found. And here's where I was before. And here's where I am now. I've already had the the Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights, that form the wolf in the background with the trees. And now I have the 2 wolves in, sitting on the cliff. And I'm starting to get the cliff in down here. Where am I at? Down here with the snow and everything that's on the a little cliff. And then I'll work over here bringing down the rest of the northern lights. So this one's quite a bit done. So I get to work on this one this week. I'm hoping to get it way, way down. And that's all of my projects that I'm working on. And the next thing I want to show you is my goodies. The first thing I have to share with you is, this may seem like, why is she showing me this on a cross stitching? This I picked up at a local store that we have around here called Mark's. And it's the 3-in-1 fitness for, what's it for? For the Wii. It has the mat and a protective thingy or whatever. Didn't care about that. What they do have are inside are these bags. And they zip all the way open. So when I do my project, just like I'll show you the northern lights, I have my Q-snap, I have my pattern with the picture, and I have my floss box or whatever that I'm using to hold my floss in. And it opens up, and I can just put it right in the inside, and it's big enough that it holds the, I think this is an 11 by 17, and it zips all the way up. It has a zipper on both sides to zip up to the middle. And to grab the handle with both of them like that. And I have them sitting like this over where I store my my projects, my whips, for me to grab onto. And what I did was, I know that this one with the little red tag, I'm going to get some ribbon. My ribbon is all buried. I'm going to put ribbon on each one. Like this is for my youngest son. His favorite color is red. So all I got to do is I see the handle, and I know that this is his project. And, you know, when it's time for the rotation, I know that this one is the one that I'm working on. And I have them stored, like I said, sitting over here, right alongside my chair that I cross stitch in. And that's what I had. I picked up 4 of these kits so I can have the bags, and they're only $4.99. So I only paid $4.99 for these bags. And you can see how nice and big they are. That my projects fits perfectly fine in these bags. And that's what came into that box. The next item that I have is some kits that I picked up. I don't know if I had showed you this. I picked up this at Joann's with, I think, a 60% off coupon. I cross-stitch so that I don't kill people. But what I'm going to change it to, because I'm going to hang this up in my craft room, I think I'm going to put I craft, or I do crafts, so I don't kill people. There we go. And then my husband saw this and thought it was really cute, so I'm going to make this one for him when I finished his Bluebirds one. I'll Love You Forever. It's a kit that I picked up at Walmart's. And then this is another kit I picked up at Walmart's. This says, Bloom and Be Happy Today. It said $1, but I think it rang up 50 cents. And it's a little Usilla kit. And this is another one I picked up at Walmart's on clearance. It says $9, but I got it for $5. And it's to make the flowers of each month. And it has the Aida, the DMC floss, separators, and needle. And it's just one big piece of Aida that you cut down to do all the different bookmarks. And I picked up a lot of floss, DMC floss, and also some of the floss from Hobby Lobby, the clearance floss that I wanted to experiment with, try it and see if I like some of how the feel of their floss. I also picked this up at a thrift store. It was from Goodwill, and it was this whole little thing like this, and it was $4.99 for the case and all. And I thought, when I saw the piece of paper in there, it's a white piece of paper in there, I thought it had the pattern, but it doesn't. But it has hoops, but I don't use the hoops. It has all the floss already separated, and it says it's DMC floss. It was for a kit somebody must have started. It has the blending filaments and the beads and the needles. And it had the chart, the key code for the chart, and the directions. But it didn't have the pattern after I got home. And then what I saw what it was, it is, the name of it is on here, past, present, and future. So when I got home, I typed in past, present, and future. And this is a Mickey Mouse or Disney exclusive that you only can get at Disney. And it's with Mickey Mouse walking to Cinderella's castle with Walt Disney. Walt, you know, the maker of Disney. But I still have the floss, which is a lot of floss. The case is a beautiful little case that I can store some stuff in. And the needles and the needles, the Mill Hill beads, and plus it's 2 needles or 3 needles in here, and they're the John James. I've never tried them before, so. And the blending filament and the Mill Hill beads. It's 2 of the white and 1 of the gold blending filament. So I still got my money's worth for $4.99. And it locks up, and it's in there. And I had dyed some fabric, some more fabric. And this is Jobelan. And it is a 28 count Jobelan. And I hand dyed this, what I call a sky blue. It's just a really soft blue. I don't know if I showed that before. And I also dyed another piece of fabric for another project that I'm making. That's on the list to make. I shared the book with you already, Dragons and Unicorns, that I picked up at Joann's. And this one is called Dragon Power. And it's on the red, but I'm making it for my oldest son, and he doesn't like red. So I dyed a piece of fabric, and I wanted it to be gray with black on it. And this is what I came up with. To put that, I think that the green dragon will stand out on this cloth. And then after I dyed it, I noticed that, I don't know if I'm going to use, I don't know. I don't really know which side I'm going to use it. I think I'm going to use it on the darker side. Right up in here, I didn't get as much black as I wanted, and I was going to re-dye it again. But when I looked at my pattern, where his wings go across, that's right where that lighter splotch is going to be. So it's going to take up and cover most of that area. So I didn't dye it again. And this is a 16 count Aida that I'm going to do this on. This past weekend was my birthday, and I got a few stitching items and a few knitting items. And one of the items I got from my son was this Kutek clip-on music stand light. 9 LEDs. It's like the Hammerhead one. And I love this one because it has its own, it has a battery charger in here. It plugs in, and there's the lights that go across. So it clips on, really strong clip on. And then it has a an on and off switch here, and it has 2 settings, and it has a plug to recharge the batteries. So that is what I've been using. I love this one because then I can use it without, you know, being plugged in if I want to move it anywhere. And then when I'm sitting here in my chair, I just go ahead and plug it in, and it works off of the outlet plug. So my light never dims down like when you have the batteries after you use them for a while, because I use the rechargeable batteries so that I don't have to keep worrying about putting new batteries in or buying more batteries. I use the rechargeables, and you know, after a while you got to change out the batteries, because I bought, you know, double sets so I can put fresh batteries in at the beginning of each time. But if you stitch for a long time, or with me, I'm always getting up and leaving and going to do something and forgetting to turn the light out, I don't have to worry about with this one because it has the plug. And the last thing I got from my husband. And I had a little 7-inch, 8-inch tablet that I used, and I discovered that I like doing the patterns. I have, you know, I always did them on paper, but then I was watching the different videos, especially Carolyn Muzzio. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. And she showed how she uses her iPad, but the program for the iPad didn't work. And what I wanted to do was I wanted a tablet that had an SD card in it. You know, this one has it uses a micro SD card, so I can take it out, because I have a portable scanner. I have a big, you know, the big scanner on my printer, but then I have this little portable scanner that I bought last year, or I got last year for a birthday or something. They always buy me different things that I want to use, and this is that stick scanner. It works great. And I can just stick my little card, you know, my little SD card in here, and I can scan all of my items. And that's what I did. I went, and all the patterns that I'm working in now, I scanned them all in. And it has a storage sleeve, and I also bought the I bought this for when we go places, like to my sister's houses, and they have some old pictures that I don't have. I can just scan my pictures, and I keep a SD card in there just for that. so that I can have copies of some of the old pictures that we have. And then I can just come home and either put them on the computer or print them out or whatever I want to do with them. But then he bought me this, a larger, it is a Android, or yeah, it's not an iPad, because I wanted to be able to use the SD card so I can just pop it out of here, and then I pop them in there, and they're always saved on my SD card. Even if something happens to this, I can take them out and I have them saved onto my SD card. So that's what I'm using. But they didn't have a program. The program that Carolyn was using didn't work on Android. So I was looking at the different programs, and the one that I like best is Adobe Reader. And I have all of my patterns, and I also save them to the cloud, plus they're on my card. And I can mark this off just like I do with the, just like you can do like down here. I'll just put the pencil on. I got to highlight it for the color that I want. And then I can just touch it. I don't know where I'm touching. When I complete a stitch and highlight it yellow. And then you just hit the check mark to save that. And then if I want to park a stitch, all I do is I change my color. I'm going to go through and undo that because I'm not there yet. I could just go through and undo my drawing. But then when I want to park a stitch, all I do is I come in and I change my color and change the intensity of how dark I want it to go on there. And I'll just do that in a very pale blue. I don't know if it's showing up. And that notes that I have that's the stitch that I have parked there. And the reason why I also like this one came with a keyboard. I have the extra case that I store the whole thing in the keyboard when I'm not using the keyboard. So this one also came with a keyboard. So that's why the case is a little bit, it seems like it's bigger, because you can just slide your keyboard on. And it has the little things underneath the bottom there to hook it up. And I can also type with my keyboard. And that was one of the things he got me for that is stitchy and knitting, crocheting related. Because I also do have my my patterns for my knitting and crocheting are also downloaded on here onto the SD card. So I'll always have them on that SD card. Plus they're, you know, they're on here. So that's all my goodies that I have. And I'll come back later and share with you a video of how I'm storing my floss. Thank you very much for watching my video. Bye.